Hey guys, what is going on? It is Chris here. Hopefully, you guys all had a pretty good weekend. As you guys all saw, didn't do any videos for the weekend. Decided to take the weekend off. Been grinding videos every single day, so decided to have a little bit of a time off. So anyway, we are back at it here for Monday. We have a pretty good looking slate, some interesting games, and also we got a couple injuries that aren't gonna that aren't going to be unfolded until later on here today, like Giannis and Mr. Anthony Davis. So, like I said, I'm doing this video early in the morning, so anything can happen with those injuries. So, but I'll give you both scenarios if they play and if they don't play. So, NFL was good for us for a premium 2 out of 2 in our cash lines, so it was pretty good there. We're definitely excited here for some NBA to start off the week. So, let's just get into it as normal. If you guys want to join, we'd love to have you guys on board. $50 a month, $350 for the season, including playoffs. To get in on it as normal, check out our website in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, hit us up on Twitter. That will be down there as well. So, let's get it going here. We got Atlanta and Philly as our first game. We have a 229 total in Philadelphia by 11. So, this definitely probably going to be a blowout. There could be some individual players in this one that could have half-decent stat lines. On paper, Ben Simmons has a good matchup. His ceiling's definitely not there just because it could be a blowout, but I think he can get you 45 here. If you need to go that way, you probably don't have to go that way, but if you need him, you can go there. But probably not a star I'm going to pay up for, but, you could definitely look at him. DVP-wise, Kent Bazemore is looking pretty good. Philly's not good against shooting guards. He was terrible last game, but who knows? He might get you a 30-35 in this one at low ownership. Even in a blowout, he should play relatively big minutes. Had a down game last time, but besides that, he's been looking pretty dang good. I don't mind some Reddick coming off the bench. Same thing as Philadelphia. Atlanta's really bad against the shooting guard position. It's up to you guys. The only downside is Philly could be blowing them out. So how much does Reddick really need to go out there and shoot the ball? That's the only downside there. But both those guys are in pretty good spots according to DVP. You can look at Covington if you really need to. Omar Spellman, you can look at him. He might get you 17, 18 coming off the bench. But for the most part, not really into this game. You can look at Dwayne Dedmon if you want to coming off the bench. Surprisingly, Philly's not the greatest team against center position. But Dedmon, his minutes are up and down right now. As you saw the last game, he had 26. This guy's coming off an injury, so had 43.6. I don't know if he'll get that again, but he is a capable guy of getting a double-double. That's what he does. We just don't know about his minutes yet. But if you think he's going to get 25, 26 minutes again, totally put him in there. But like I said, Alex Len is in there as well. But the good thing about Len, though, is he does get in foul trouble quite a bit, so that means Dedmon should get some extra playing time. And Joel Embiid, as we know, he's a grinder, so he should get Alex Len in some foul trouble. So if you need someone, you can look at him. I don't think many people will have him, but for the most part, I mean, like I said, it's 11 spread. I don't know how many you really need in it. Like I said, you can consider those guys I talked about, but none of those guys are must-haves in my lineup here early in the morning. All right, moving on. Portland and Indiana, 218 in Indiana, only by 3. So it should be a half-decent game. Not the highest total out there, but it could be a little bit higher. I think it could reach like a 220 or so. Should be a good one here. Like I said, I don't mind some D-Lil. I think he's in a pretty good spot. Defensive DVP-wise, Indiana's a pretty good dang team, but I mean, I really don't mind some Damian Lillard here. Don't mind Oladipo, but I don't think this is in the best spot for him to capitalize on his points. Maurice Harkless is out, so that means Evan Turner, he might get a couple extra minutes, but I think this guy's in a good spot. Either way, no one's going to have Evan Turner. He's one of those guys that's probably going to get you 25, maybe 26 points, as you see. Like I said, minutes are going up the last couple games. Plus, as I said, Maurice Harkless is out, so he might get you 28, 29 minutes. So you can definitely consider him. Not the fanciest dude out there, one of those guys that grinds. But he can put up a little fancy points. So if you're struggling at small forward, you can look at Evan Turner. Like I said, very, very low ownership on him. You can always look at Sabonis if you really want to. Zach Collins is looking pretty good off the bench there for the Portland Trailblazers, as you see 35 and 23 in his last two. Only thing with him, doesn't get big minutes, but as you see, he's relatively productive, but not sure if you really need him. So I'm looking at Lillard in this one. I really think he's in a, as normal, pretty good spot. The Stars aren't in the greatest spots tonight, so you might have to pay up for, Lillard and stuff like that. And another guy that might have a half decent benefit is Nick Stauskas. With Harkless being out, Harkless is a small forward, but maybe a couple more minutes for Nick Stauskas. As you see, he's been trash, but who knows? He might get you 24, 25. But for the most part, not really looking at this game. Oladipo, and you can look at Mr. Evan Turner. Sorry, Lillard and Evan Turner is the two that I'm looking at in this one. Always you can consider Sabonis coming off the bench. He's one of those guys that gets you 30 points or so. So interesting one. I do expect this total to rise maybe to 219, 220. We'll have to see. But, this slate, if we're looking at it, the totals aren't that good. There's one good total. This one should be interesting, but this could be a blowout, though, depending on that AD news. So we'll have to see. Like I said, there's not too many good close totals, so you might have to take a little bit lower total, but in a closer game. We'll have to see. All right, moving on. We got Sacramento and Miami at 226 and Miami by 8. So Miami is starting to get healthy, which kind of sucks fantasy-wise just because there's less opportunities for guys that were doing pretty good. I don't mind Rodney McGruder, but he's $5,600. Like I said, they're getting healthy as well, so I don't know if he's really needed as much. Like I said, he's looking pretty dang good, so you can always consider him just because it looks like he's got job security, and he still should be putting up some pretty good numbers. So you can put him in there. Like I said, some of these Miami guys coming back from injuries might hurt him just a little bit, but as I said, looks like he has quite a bit of job security. Miami is not a good team, surprisingly, this year against the point guard position. You can look at De'Aaron Fox. The only thing is his price tag is $7,700. Pretty dang expensive, but I think he can get you 40 in this one. That very, very, very low ownership. For the most part, plays pretty big minutes, probably around 34 to 35 in this one. So you can look at Fox in a one-off. Don't think anyone's going to have him, but that's just a pure DVP play right there. Let me see. I just don't know who else I want. Like I said, a lot of these Miami guys, I don't know their minutes yet because some of these new guys some of the guys are coming back from injury. I mean, you can always look at Winslow if you need to. You can look at Kelly, had a really good game last time out, but that was just a little random one for him. So, one of those interesting games. Like I said, you can look at Fox. You can always consider Rodney McGruder if you really want to. They just have so many guys. Miami does so many guys coming back from injury. So we'll have to see. Kind of did it last year where they had a lot of injuries. And then it took a couple games for them to get their full rotation back. So usually I don't mess with that when their full rotation is not back yet. But it could be an intriguing game. Like I said, that's a relatively high total. I do expect Sacramento to keep up with them for a little bit. We'll see. So that's an interesting one. Definitely keep an eye on that game, depending on, like I said, the minutes and everything like that. So moving on to our next one here, we have Brooklyn and New York. We have a 216 total in New York by 2. So Brooklyn coming on a back-to-back, played at Golden State last night. D'Angelo Russell did not look too bad, I don't think. He had, let me see. He had 39.2. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. The only thing that sucks is he doesn't play big minutes because they have so many point guards and shooting guards, but you can always look at him. I think I'd take Fox over Russell in a GPP. Who else are we looking at here? You can always look at LeVert. I think this could be an interesting Tim Hardaway game if you want to go that way. He's been up and down, but I think he can get you 35 in this one. I really do. I think he could have a half-decent game. You can always look at Dotson, depending on Courtney Lee and Mr. Emmanuel Mudiay. Let me see here. Power forward. You can look at Noah Vonleh. Could be a game that gets you 20, 23. The interesting one, though, is, what are they going to do? Are they going to start Cantor, or are they going to go Mitchell Robertson? If Mitchell Robertson starts, you have to put him in there, I think, as a punt center. Didn't have the craziest game last time, but still played pretty big minutes. But, if he doesn't start, I probably won't put him in there. It could have been just an experience play just to see how he would do. But like I said, if for some reason he starts again, shoot, why not put him in there? If Enes Kanter starts, another good spot for him. Brooklyn really struggles against the center position. So, like I said, it could have been an experience thing for him. Like I said, Kanter's been up and down these last couple of games. So who knows? If he's back in the starting rotation, I think you can look at him. Mitchell Robertson starts, definitely can look at him as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, Kanter or Robertson, depending on who starts in that one. You could always look at LeVert. Like I said, LeVert is always in a half-decent spot. Allen Crabbe had a pretty good game last night, which was kind of surprising. And then, like I said, you can look at D'Angelo Russell if you really need to. Don't really want to mess with Trey Burke or Frank Ntilikina. So another one, like I said, I'm probably going to be looking at the centers on that game there. That's probably where I'm going to be looking. All right, moving on to our next game, Golden State and Chicago, 229 and Golden State by 11. All right, so as normal, if you want to look at the Golden State starters, that's up to you guys. We know how they are. Cameron Payne, he's been half decent. Like I said, he had a bad one last night. That's just hard to mess with that dude. He's so up and down. Shooting guard, you can look at Zach LaVine, but he's 8,400. I don't think he can get higher than the 42 in this one. So he's priced exactly where he'll probably pay off at. You can, as normal, look at Kevin Durant if you need to. You can always look at Draymond. Wendell Carter had a pretty good game last time out. You can always look at him. He's, another guy that's priced right where he should be. Only bad thing, another thing, this guy plays really bad minutes for the most part. So 6,300, that's kind of expensive to pay for a guy that could bust on you and get you 20 to 22 points. Draymond, half decent spot as well. You can look at Felicio. I mentioned him the other day. He had 18.6, so maybe just punt. He might get you, like I said, 18 to 20 at relatively high minutes, so you can always look at that. But for the most part, going to be a blowout game, so I don't know how much I really care about this one here. But like I said, you can always look at the stars for Golden State. Not the craziest upside, but they're going to get you 45 points at the minimum. Who knows? Maybe Chicago can make this a half decent close game, but I don't think they will. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Look at Chicago starters. You can look at Wendell Carter. Like I said, minutes are interesting for him. You could always look at Felicio if you just need 18 or 19 in that one. Parker, I don't think I really need him at 7,000 off the bench. So an interesting one, nothing too crazy that I'm really looking at in this one. Most of these early games so far, I'm not really looking at. Some of these late games as a little bit better for me. All right, moving on. We have Toronto and Milwaukee. No total just because of Giannis. But if he plays and he's healthy, this should be a really good dang game. I mean, this could be definitely a playoff game for sure. These two teams are going to be in there. Toronto's looking good. Milwaukee, they're both looking just very, very good. So right away, Kyle Lowry, I think he's in a very good spot here. Like I said, depending on that Giannis news, that will change the spread and the total for sure. But Lowry, look at this, man. 4 straight games of a double-double. This dude's been on fire. Put him in there. He's still relatively cheap. I like him. I really do. You can look at Eric Bledsoe in this one as well, especially if Giannis is out. He's had a couple bad games, but, we'll see. The minutes, I'm not sure what's going on there. Like I said, I haven't paid attention, so I don't know if he has foul trouble or anything like that. Shooting guard, as normal, you can look at Mr. Middleton in this one. Like I said, if Giannis plays and he's healthy, put him in there. He did only play 19 minutes his last game, so that's a little concerning. Kawhi Leonard, he's in another very good spot as well. You can look at Serge Ibaka to get you 25 to 30 in this one if you need to go that way, which I don't mind. And then Jonas Valanciunas, another half decent play. I told you guys he was in a half decent spot last time out against Dallas, which struggled against centers, and he did pretty good, 30.1. So another guy you can look at in this one. So I really don't mind this game. The Giannis news is what's going to factor how many I play in this one. But like I said, if Giannis plays full minutes, just look at this entire game. Lowry, Middleton, Giannis, Leonard, Ibaka, and you can also look at Valanciunas. So should be a good one. It should be around a 225, maybe even higher total if Giannis plays in this one. So keep an eye out on that. Hopefully we get Giannis news by lock. It locks 1 hour after it starts 1 hour after lock. So hopefully we get news on Giannis. I think we should, but we'll see. But that should be one of the games I'm targeting for sure here tonight. Moving on, we got Lakers and Minnesota. So Lakers are going to be back at full health. Rondo is back and Mr. Ingram is back. 237 total in Minnesota by 1, which I totally disagree with. I think Lakers should beat them in this one. Minnesota just looks like complete trash. I picked Towns the last game. He was looking like trash. This entire Minnesota team is terrible right now. Their chemistry is just bad. Anyway, if Wiggins is out again, you can look at Mr. D Rose to get you 25 to 30. I don't mind Rondo. For some reason, they started Lonzo Ball last game, which was a big mistake. Rondo obviously is a little bit better. He only played 29 minutes in his game back, but I do expect him to be in the starting lineup. That's just me. If he's on the bench, I'm probably not going to put him in there, but if Rondo's starting, I think you can definitely look at him. Another guy you can look at is maybe Jeff Teague. Like I said, this entire Minnesota squad is just not looking good right now. Even Jeff Teague's not looking too good either. Rose is taking a little bit of his playing time as well. Shooting guard, you can look at Jimmy Butler, but like I said, he's having issues. Josh Hart will be coming off the bench, might get you 28 to 30 in this one. LeBron, don't mind him at all. Lance Stevenson, I don't think he's going to be too much of a factor with Ingram coming back. And then, as you see there, he still has the suspension, but he should be coming back in this one. As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Did he have a 4-game or did he have a 5-game? 4 games. So, yeah, he should be back here tonight. I don't know how much they're going to play him. He should play pretty good minutes. Also, you can look at Kyle Kuzma going back to the bench. I'm expecting. As normal, Minnesota, they're one of the worst teams against power forwards. I've been saying that the entire year. So definitely pick on Minnesota with some Laker power forwards. And unfortunately, I think JaVale McGee, the time with JaVale McGee is kind of over. Everyone's coming back a little bit healthy, and his minutes, I think, are going to go back down. So, unfortunately, like I said, I love picking JaVale McGee, but I don't think he's going to be too productive in this one just because everyone's back, so no reason to really put him out there as much as he has been playing. And then if you want to take a shot with Towns, that's up to you. I've been burnt by this dude a couple times. Like I said, this entire Minnesota team is just trash right now, but it's a 237 total, so you got to take a couple Minnesota guys into consideration. So a lot of people are going to have that cash game pick right there. So just pick and choose who you want in that one. All right, moving on, Dallas and San Antonio, 216 and San Antonio by 6. So I really don't mind this game at all. Both these defenses aren't really that good. You can look at Dennis Smith Jr. might get you 34 to 35 at very low ownership. Brian Forbes is normal. I tell you guys, pick him every time. If you need someone cheap, going to get you 21 to 23 in that one. I don't mind DeRozan. I really like Luka Doncic, though. He is a small forward, and San Antonio struggles dramatically against the small forward position. I think Luka Doncic can get you 38 to 45 in this one. I think he's in a very good spot for sure. Rudy Gay as well. Dallas is really bad against small forwards. You can look at him. I don't think a lot of people are really going to be looking at Rudy Gay. But one of those guys that's going to get you 30 to maybe 32 points in this one. Playing relatively big minutes. He's looking pretty good. 2 straight double-doubles. No one's going to have the dude. I don't mind him in a GPP play at very, very low ownership. You can look at Aldridge if you really need to. DeAndre Jordan, I think he's in another pretty good spot. Only $7,900, and he's been pretty dang efficient as well. Look at straight up double doubles every single game so far. Almost a triple double last night. So definitely look at Jordan. Only $7,900. I'd probably rather have him over Cantor if you had to pick. So Jordan, you can look at Aldridge. Probably not going to be in my lineup, but you can look at him. Really don't mind some Rudy Gay, Luka Doncic in a pretty good spot as well, and Brian Forbes as a cheap guy to get you your 20 to 23 points. So lower total, but a half-decent game that I'm personally looking at. All right, moving on. New Orleans and Denver. No total because of that Anthony Davis news. If he can't play, I do expect this one just to be a blowout here. Peyton's out as well, so that's really going to hurt them. You can look at Jamal Murray. He might get you 30, 32 in this one. With Peyton being out, you can definitely go look at Mr. Frank Jackson at $3,500. Most of you guys probably don't even know who this dude is. But, got a little bit playing time that last game, 14 points, 2 assists. So if you got you 30 minutes in this one, which I think he can get you 25, probably 26 at bare minimum price tag. So definitely you can look at him. Another guy to look at is Monte Morris. This dude's been a beast ever since Will Barton went down. And, should be a pretty easy one and probably a little bit extra run coming off the bench there if this is a blowout. So Monte Morris, only $4,800. You can definitely consider him as well. Drew Holiday might have to step up, but, Denver defense is pretty dang good so far. So we'll have to see. Nikola Mirotic, 35, 36 from him probably. If Anthony Davis isn't out, you can look at Mr. Randall. He sucked a lot last game. That's because he got in a lot of foul trouble early. Since his game time decision, but he's having, this little issue the last couple days. But I think you can definitely put him in there. If you just want to GPP your center position, you can look at Jahlil Okafor if Anthony Davis is out. Came in last game with AD being out and did half decent, 11.6 rebounds. Didn't play any minutes, though. So maybe he gets a little bit more run in this one if this would be a blowout. But that's just a pure punt play if you need to go that way. And then you can look at Jokic. I don't know how much upside he has, but, you can look at him in this one. So, another game that people are definitely going to look at. Look at Murray. Like I said, you can look at Holiday and Harris if you need them. Not the crazy upside, but I still think they're half decent spots. And then, as I said, Frank Jackson and Monte Morris you can look at as well. And then, like I said, you can look at Nikola Mirotic if AD is out. So I don't think we'll get any news on this one unless, it breaks early. So that could be an interesting game time decision tag if we don't have any news by the lock. So, should be an interesting slate. As I said, there's a lot of mixed games that are low totals, some are high totals. So I really don't mind some Kyle Lowry, as I mentioned. I think he's in a pretty good dang spot. Derrick Rose, if Wiggins is out, shooting guard. I personally like Luka Doncic quite a bit. Shooting guard's not too crazy, though. Like I said, you can look at McGruder, Hart, Redick. If you need to go that way, Monte Morris. And you can also just punt with Frank Jackson, since I think he'll get you around 25 points. Spelled that one wrong. There you go, $3,500. Get you a little bit of salary. And as you see there, you got a lot of salary still to work with. I'll give you guys, let's see here, one more that I'm looking at. And then you could probably go dump in LeBron if you don't have the money for him. I think Kawhi Leonard's in a pretty good spot. So that should leave you with, a couple more picks to work with there. So, should be an interesting one. Like I said, if you avoid the bad ones, you should be fine. and wait on that Giannis and that AD news, and then we should be good. So that is it. As normal, we'd love to have you guys join us. $50 a month, $350 for the season, including playoffs. Website will be down in the comment section below as normal. And if you want to hit us up on Twitter, we will have that down there as well. So that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you do, leave a like. We definitely do appreciate your guys' feedback quite a bit. So alrighty, guys. Hope you guys have a good start to your week. And we'll see you guys all here for the Tuesday slate.